Section 2.3 is on intercepts of a graph. Okay, so for definition, the x-intercept is the point where the graph intersects the x-axis, and the y-intercept is the point where the graph intersects the y-axis. So I'm going to sketch my x and y-axis. Remember, this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. I'm going to draw a random line. Okay, let's draw a line like this. Okay, along the x-axis, the x-intercept is where the graph intersects the x-axis. So if I go along this line, I run into the x-axis right here. Okay, so this point is the x-intercept. Okay, if I was writing the ordered pair for this point, I would go to the side x spaces and then I would go up 0 spaces. Now the y-intercept is where the graph intersects the y-axis. So that's going to be this point right here. Okay, I call that the y-intercept. If I want to write the ordered pair for that, it's going to be 0, comma, and then whatever the y value is at that point. Okay, for example 1, we're going to find the intercepts on some sketches of graphs I'm going to draw right now. Okay, those are my graphs. These are just sketches because I know we don't all have graph paper right now. Okay, so on this first graph here, this is my line. I want to see where I'm going to find the x-intercept first. The x-intercept is where the line touches the x-axis. So if I follow the line, it touches the x-axis right at this point right here. Okay, what is that? That point right there. I'm going to mark it. I'm going to abbreviate x-intercept by saying x-int. The ordered pair for that x-intercept is from the origin. I go to the side 1, 2, 3, and I go up 0. And the x-intercept always has a value, comma 0. Now the y-intercept is where the line intersects the y-axis, so that's going to be at this point right here. Okay, I'm going to abbreviate y-intercept with y-int. Okay, the ordered pair for that red dot is I go to the side 0, then I go down 2. So 0, comma, negative 2. Okay, and the y-intercept is always of the format 0, comma, something. Okay, so for my next little graph here, I'm going to find the x-intercept because it asked me to find both intercepts. The x-axis is this horizontal axis. Okay, so the line intersects the x-axis right here. Okay, I'm going to mark it so it's easier for me to see. Let's see, the x-intercept from the origin, I go left 1, so that's negative 1, and then I don't go up at all, so negative 1, 0. And that makes sense because the x-intercept should be some number, comma 0. Okay, for the y-intercept, okay, it looks like it's about here if my sketch were a little better. Okay, the ordered pair for that, from the origin, I go to the side nothing, and I go up 2. So my y-intercept is 0, comma 2. For example 2, I'm going to draw the graph of a linear equation with the given intercepts. Okay, so for A, it says the x-intercept is 3, 0, and the y-intercept is 0, 5, and I want to draw the linear equation. Linear equation means I want to draw the line. So I'm going to graph the points, but then I do need to draw the line that passes through those points. So I'm going to make a little sketch of my graph. Let's see, my x-intercept is 3, 0. Okay, so when I graph the x-intercept, I'm going to go to the side 3, up 0. 1, 2, 3. And I'll go ahead and put my x-intercept right there. Okay, my y-intercept is 0, 5. Okay, since I'm sketching, I'm just going to count it up. 0. Positive 5 is up, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 0, comma 5, which makes sense because it's on the y-axis. Now, because I want the graph of the line, I need to actually draw the line, and the line should be long. It should pass through both of those intercepts, and it should have arrows at the ends. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing for the next one. This one says negative 4, 0, and 0, 2. It does not tell me which one is an x-intercept and a y-intercept, although when I graph them, it should be obvious which one's which. Okay, so for negative 4, 0, I'm going to go to the side negative 4 and up 0. So I'm going to go to the side 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. Okay, that's on the x-axis, so that was my x-intercept. I can also tell because there's a number in the x place and there's a 0 in the y place. Okay, so for my other point they gave me, they told me go to the side 0, up 2. So I'm going to go ahead and sketch this, up 2. Okay, since this is on the y-axis, this must be my y-intercept. Because it asked me to draw the graph of the linear equation, they want me to draw a line. I'm going to make it long. make it pass through the points, and I'm going to put arrows at the ends. If you have an ID cards make fabulous rulers. On the previous examples, we were finding the intercepts from the graph. Now we're going to find the intercepts algebraically from the equation. Okay, so to find the x-intercept algebraically, I first have to keep in mind the format of the x-intercept. The x-intercept is always some x value, comma 0. Okay, so to find the x-intercept, I go ahead and let y equals 0 and solve for x. Okay, and we'll do an example like that. Okay, for the y-intercept, it's always of the format 0, comma y, because that way it ends up on the y-axis. So if I want to solve for the y-intercept, I'm going to let the x value equal 0 so I can solve for y. Okay, so for example 3, we're going to find the intercepts algebraically. Since it says intercepts, I need to find both the x-intercept and the y-intercept. It doesn't tell me which one to find first, so it doesn't make a difference. Okay, I'm going to find the x-intercept first. Okay, I'm going to show extra work until we get used to it. Okay, so if I want to find the x-intercept, I'm going to plug in 0 for y. And then I'm going to solve for x on the original equation. So if I look at that equation, here's where the y is. Okay, I'm going to bring down the equation, negative 3x plus 4 times 0 equals 24. Now I'm going to solve for x. Okay, now the nice thing is if I do 4 times 0, that's 0. So that's basically gone. So I just have negative 3x equals 24, and I can go ahead and solve for x. Okay, I get x equals negative 8, but my x-intercept is a point, so I have to write my final answer as an ordered pair. So the x goes first, my x is negative 8, my y value is 0, because that's what I plugged in at the beginning. So my x-intercept is negative 8, comma 0. Okay, because it asked me to find the intercepts, even though I found the x-intercept, I also need to find the y-intercept. Okay, and you probably wouldn't write out this y-intercept. It's at directions at the top, but I'm doing it for our notes till we get used to it. Okay, to find the y-intercept, I'm going to let x equal 0 and then solve for y. Okay, so as a reminder, I'm going to write x equals 0 here. Okay, then I'm going to go back to the original equation, and where x is, I'm going to substitute in a 0. Okay, so negative 3 times 0 plus 4y equals 24. Okay, again, the nice thing, if I do 3 times 0, that's 0. That's nothing. It kind of goes away. So then I just have 4y equals 24. I'm going to solve for y. I get y equals 6. But then remember, your answer for an intercept must be an ordered pair because it's a point. So I'm going to put the x value first. The x is 0. The y is 6. So my ordered pair is 0, comma 6. Okay, we're going to do a few more of those, and then we'll be done with intercepts for now. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the next one. X-intercept, y-intercept, it does not matter which one you find first. Okay, and I'm going to write out this little step to start us off, but I'll probably stop pretty soon. So if I want the x-intercept, I have to put in 0 for the y value. That way I can solve for x. So if I go to the original equation, x minus 2y equals 14. Okay, remember 2 times 0 is 0, so that's basically gone. So I end up with just x equals 14, which is nice, but my answer must be an ordered pair. So the x answer goes first, the y value goes second. Okay, for the y-intercept, I'm going to plug in 0 for the x value, so I can solve for the y value. Going back to the original equation every time, 0 minus 2y equals 14. Okay, you could minus 0 on both sides, but 0 is nothing, so it's basically gone. Okay, let's see. I'll divide by negative 2. I get y equals negative 7, but then of course I must write my ordered pair 0, negative 7. Okay, we're going to do 2 more of these just to kind of mix it up, show you a couple different things. If you're working ahead, that's fine. Just check your answers. Okay, I'm going to find, again, doesn't matter if I do x or y first. If I want the x-intercept, I'm going to put in 0 for the y value. You don't need to write this every time, but you do need to show your work. So 5 times 0 minus 4x equals negative 11. 5 times 0 is 0, so let's just lose it. X equals, okay, negative cancels. 11 divided by 4, I'll leave it 11 over 4. And then I'm just going to write my answer as an ordered pair. That's my x-intercept because the y value is 0. Let me go get, I'm going to get my y-intercept now. If you did it in the opposite order, that's fine. Just make sure we should have the exact same points. This is 0. Okay, so as an ordered pair, I got 0, comma, and negative 11 over 5. I don't mind fractions. If I had to graph them, I might mind. But since I'm just solving for them, I don't mind them at all. Okay, the last one's kind of rearranged in a weird way to see if it messes you up. You're going to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Does not matter which one you do first. You don't need to write this x int every single time, but I'm doing it for my notes. Okay, y equals 0. Okay, this one's a little different because I'm going to have to solve this like a 2-step equation. Okay, I got another fraction, but I don't mind. It's not like I'm graphing it. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and get the y-intercept. You don't need to write y int x equals 0 every time, but you need to know that that's happening every time. 3 times x minus 7. 0 minus 7 is minus 7. So the y-intercept is 0 minus 7.